Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy, and this is episode 169. Can you believe it? Here we are again this week, and just some updates, a little bit of housekeeping since we all gathered together here last week. First things first, I put Jeff on a 72-hour notice. So by the time he gets done clipping this episode, I will require him to give his full and final opinion of the new backdrop. If in fact it's grown on him and he's changed his mind, we'll keep him around. We like Jeff. He just got engaged. A shout out to you and Mrs. Jeff. She's wonderful. We met her a few weeks ago, and we love what she's doing for our boy, okay? So congratulations, you two. Of course, we'll be there at said wedding when and wherever and if and whenever it is. So if they want us there, you know what I mean? Or they could say, hey, man, I don't like your backdrop. You're not invited to the wedding.
What are we doing?
And that could be the reality we find ourselves living in here in the next few years. Of course, he's going to do the responsible thing. You buy the love of your life, you get her a house first, and then you walk her down the aisle. That's the way we do things here in America. So that's his plan. That's the move. Sorry, I'm giving away all of his personal life. But for those of you who know Jeff, congratulate him. He's now engaged to the beautiful Mrs. Jeff. And shout out to them. They're going to get married soon. So he's on 72-hour notice. If he fails to fall in love with the backdrop, we'll obviously have to let him go. And it's okay because I put out one tweet and within 72 hours, I've got 97 voicemails, 13 text messages, 12 emails, 3 Discord requests, and 1,900 DMs on Twitter. When I say I'm looking for a podcast clip editor, I've got the gambit.
What are we doing?
To choose from. And I mean, these dudes are offering like $4 a clip. So, you know what I mean? A lot less than I have to pay Jeff. So he's on 72-hour leave. That's it. I can't do it anymore. Everyone else, comments galore. Last week, we got all the comments last week from Kodak, from complete strangers, from people we don't know, people we do know, saying they love the backdrop, saying that Jeff is the one who's wrong. I think in one instance, hold on, I have to pull this up. In one instance, someone said, listen to this. Someone said, I like the backdrop. I think it's nice. Then Jeff, of course, had to respond. I responded too. Jeff, of course, responded and said, that's cool. I still hate it. And of course, I let this person know, thank you, Jeff hates it. And then the person responded, shout out to Eric. Eric responded back and said, Jeff don't set trends. Change the game or make money moves.
What are we doing?
Jeff doesn't do any of those things. Put his opinion in your glove box and never think about it again.
What are we doing?
Says at Eric. At Eric says, Jeff doesn't make money moves. Jeff doesn't change the game. And Jeff doesn't make trends or set them. Put it in the glove box.
What are we doing?
So, you know what I mean? He's got 72 hours and I'm going to text him and he's going to give me an answer. And if he loves it, great. I knew he'd come around. You know what I mean? Of course, I knew he would. But if he doesn't, it's fine. It's clearly an internal issue that he'll still just need to continue to work on probably all through 2025. And maybe this time next year, we can revisit our relationship we'll probably have a new backdrop. And if Jeff loves the new backdrop by then, once inevitably when we get one, you know, if and when we ever get a new one, then we can consider a rekindle with our friend Jeff. So he's on notice. We'll let him know. And then, so the only other thing or other comments that we really need to get to are, boy, oh boy, the fans. The fanboys, the Patreon subscribers, the diehards, the day one stand-up comedy fans have come for my soul. I made a few comments and a few well-known truths about their favorite stand-up comedian / podcast host / comedy mothership killers.
What are we doing?
Last week. And they didn't like it. So much so that, listen, the video has set records. The clip of me talking about Tony Hinchcliffe and Joe Rogan and all their friends, the clip, let me tell you, in about 48 hours, we were looking at an astonishing, because usually on this channel, it's about 23 to 300 views every 24 hours. We were looking at a close 2,000 views, okay? Unfortunately, that came with a 67% like to dislike ratio. We had 5 likes. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who spent 3 seconds of their day to watch and like the video that I spend time and money on uploading, making titles for, and, you know, all the shit that I do on a daily basis. And so thank you to those 5 people. But then that was quickly knocked down by the 67 dislikes.
What are we doing?
I don't think we've ever had a video on this YouTube channel receive 67, let alone like 3 or 4 dislikes. The Patreon subscribers of these men do not like it when you call out the fact that they cry a lot. And so we got blasted. You know what I mean? The top comment here, we're all now dumber for having to click on this video. God have mercy on our souls was one of them. I only lasted a minute or so. Your voice is like nails on a chalkboard. Of course, I asked him, I said, well, it sounds like what you're saying is if, you know, we're in a room together for 24 hours, you'd rather listen to nails on a chalkboard for 24 hours than listen to my voice, which he didn't respond back. You know, it's fine. Someone said, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're spiraling. Not to copy the comments, but your voice. Oh, you're talking to an empty room.
What are we doing?
Hey. You know what I mean? I'm getting hate from the UK. Here's one that just literally says hate from the UK. I mean, it has been so warm and heartfelt to see all of these people comment on my video. I mean, it just, someone said, hey, now they're coming at you guys. Someone said right here at Loud Minority 116 says, you need better friends.
What are we doing?
Well, step up. You listening? If you consider yourself my friend, you better, at Loud Minority 116 is claiming you're not doing a good job. And so apparently you need to step up, and I need to go out and find better friends, according to the YouTube comments. It goes on and on and on. Oh, and the hate about the glasses, let me give you an update there. A lot of people said all I need to do is take off the glasses. And a lot of people last week were also, which I can't because it's a vision thing. It gets blurry when I take them off. I can't really see too well. I think I'm legally blind in both eyes, but it's fine. The other thing is people said they were super smudgy. They said, hey, bro, clean your glasses.
What are we doing?
So this week, I mean, you can see them now. I spent probably what, Lou Bug? I probably spent 20 minutes. I used 2 different cloth materials. I used a wet and dry solution. I cleaned the shit out of these glasses this week. So at least 30% of you can calm down and just enjoy the episode. You know what I mean? We've got a fun-filled episode for you this week. So I hope all 2,070 of my subscribers, you guys enjoy it. If you're new here, hit that like button, hit subscribe. We're doing it, bro. Whether at James Installation 116 or at Eric Squashman 97 thinks that I should just quit and give up and, unalive myself. That's another common pattern here in the YouTube comments. I don't know if everyone else is aware of this. Is how just natural society and the internet works. Everyone just wants you dead. Everyone just would love if I uploaded a clip tomorrow of me falling off a cliff, it would get so many views.
What are we doing?
Listen, can we just do something before the end of 2024, before the transition of president in the country, before we get to the next chapter of America, before we get to 2025, can we let Joe Exotic out of prison? Can we pardon him yet? Is he ready to go? Can we get him out?
What are we doing?
Because it's so sad to see. It's every 72 hours. It's every 20 minutes on Instagram. Joe Exotic is coming up with a new plan to try to get whatever sitting president on the planet is here right now and will listen to him to just look at his case and realize that, like, everybody on the trial committed perjury and he's innocent. And Carol Baskin's still alive, so how could he kill her?
What are we doing?
So why is he in jail? All he wants to do is start his life over with his new husband, make his music, and play with his freaking tiger suit. That's all he wants to do. And you're keeping him in jail for no reason. If we're going to pardon the Jan 6 people, okay? If we're letting Mechanicsburg native, hey, Judge, I got to go to the Renaissance Fair. I need to be off house arrest for at least 48 hours to go to the Central Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. It's approved. You're on your way.
What are we doing?
If we're pardoning that crazy chick, I forget what her name is. We talked about her like 2 years ago. If we're letting her out of prison, we have got to seriously consider to let out Mr. Joe Exotic, okay? And listen, he's not doing good since the news broke a couple weeks ago. We didn't really cover it on this podcast, but for those of you who don't know, President Joe Biden stepped out once again for like the 13th time this year. He's made his monthly rounds. He woke up, he saw his shadow, he determined, 6 more weeks of presidency. And so with a blanket pardon, with the powers of the president, like many of them do when it comes to the end of their term, he pardoned his son, good boy, Hunter Biden.
What are we doing?
Now, he pardoned him for like some silly little, like a parking ticket. I think Joe, it was Hunter had like 6 parking tickets and a little bit of tax issues and like a handgun that wasn't registered properly. So he was looking at a few state criminal federal charges. Maybe it had nothing to do with the laptop or the cocaine or the hookers or the strangulation of said women or any other affiliations with like him working for the Ukraine and then him going, hey, Ukraine, my dad's the president. He'll hook you up with whatever you need. And then him going back to Daddy Joseph saying, hey, president, I need $1 billion, like at least 50 billion. Let's just make it an even trillion for my friends at the Ukraine. And he's like, yeah, cool. I'll give you that money. I don't know. What else are we going to do with it? Give it to the Americans?
What are we doing?
So that whole thing, it was a blanket pardon. Okay. And so Hunter's free to go. He's out celebrating in a very responsible manner, I'm sure. But when it comes to the proper opinions of those who matter the most, we called our friend from prison. Listen, Joe Exotic, I don't really understand quite why he wants out of jail. They're giving him free food. It's free room and board. He essentially, it would seem that Joe Exotic gets to do whatever he wants in prison. He's making phone calls every day. He's posting on social media. He's releasing new music. He's got a Rumble channel now. He's on podcasts. He's got a whole... I'm not sure why Joe Exotic wants to be out of jail, because it seems like he's got pretty solid access to everything he needs except for the Tigers. I guess he really needs his Tigers. So we called him. We called Joe, and this is how it went. Check it out. Joe, it's Levi. Can you hear me? Is everything okay? What's going on? Hunter Biden. You can hear me? Okay, good. We got your audio coming in now. Hunter Biden just got pardoned. What's going on, buddy?
I just saw in the news that President Biden blanket pardoned Hunter Biden, which is completely crazy. First of all, he promised the American people that he wouldn't do it. Second of all, you know how many thousands of people, normal tax-paying citizens that are in federal prison for gun charges and tax evasion charges that don't have the blessing of their daddy being president of the United States in order to keep getting out of trouble?
Well, listen, dude. Listen, Joe. I just hit the button. I know you can't hear it on the call, but listen, if my dad was the president, you better believe I would call him immediately. I would call my therapist first to make sure it's okay. But the moment I found out my father is the president of the United States, I forgot. What happened? You abandoning me like 18 years ago. You haven't called. You saw me one time and were like trying to pretend like nothing ever happened, but like we're not all going to pretend like it wasn't. My stepmother who caused the entire downfall of about 75% of our family.
What are we doing?
Like no one talks to each other now thanks to you and everything else that you've kind of pretty much done or lack thereof. Like, but so I would like, you know what I mean? Like, did you love me as a child would be the first question to ask, but I would forget. I would somehow, due to probably copious amounts of drugs, just like Hunter Biden.
What are we doing?
I would probably forget that that even happened. I would go to the White House. I'd be like, Daddy, I'm home. I'm home, Dad. What's up? Listen, I need like $20 million, and that's all I'll ever ask you for. It'll fix everything. We'll make it go away. What do you say, Dad? Yes or yes?
What are we doing?
I would have to then go commit a crime, and then in order for Daddy to prove his love to me, back to me for the 18 years of the missing piece of my heart from my father walking out on me.
What are we doing?
I know what you mean, Joe. I can't fathom having a father as the president. You know what I mean?
Seems to be an everyday occurrence for Washington, D.C. As long as you work for the president.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what president it is, as long as you work for him or you related to him, you get these pardons and you get excused from your criminal behavior. Meanwhile, people like me that have evidence to prove that I'm innocent keep sitting and rotting in this federal system of y'all's. So I just want to speak up for the taxpayers of this country.
Speak it true, Joe.
Family members incarcerated in federal prison.
Yep.
This is exactly why the Democrats lost. Okay.
Yep.
And this is exactly why people don't vote anymore. Is because it's just a waste of time. Because unless you're part of the elite, you're just the.
Okay, just clarify on the end there. I think the Democrats probably lost because they were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on cardboard podcast sets and like Las Vegas Sphere ads and Beyonce.
What are we doing?
And I think people do vote. I think it was like this 2024 election had like the most votes like ever. So that last bit, Joe, not a problem. We'll correct you, but it's fine. So his plea is out there. He's been going back and forth. He's pleading to Joe Biden and he's pleading to Donald Trump. He's hoping he can ride the Donald Trump train. He's hoping if he makes enough noise and splash on social media that he'll get the attention of Donald Trump or maybe one of his friends. So this is Joe Exotic's new plan, okay? It's a two-phase plan. Phase 1, get on a podcast. Phase 2, which is already kind of in motion, promote and re-release a brand new Tiger King song.
What are we doing?
And so basically, Joe Exotic is now campaigning to either, once he gets out of prison or maybe even while he's still in prison, he wants to either participate and be a guest on Theo Von or Joe Rogan's podcast, because those two men are now seemingly 1 degree / pretty much directly connected to J.D. Vance and Donald Trump.
What are we doing?
And if anyone's going to pardon Joe Exotic for his crimes that he shouldn't be in prison for, it's going to be Zaddy Trumpets, okay? So if we know any connection, if we can get Joe Exotic on Joe Rogan, and we could create a banner. It just says Rogan X Exotic, and then Joe is like just in big letters at the top of it. Boom. And then like a picture of young Jamie, maybe that stupid new dog, the Frenchie they got, looks just like Lou Bug. Stupid dog. And so it just, what I think we need to do is just bombard Joe Exotic, bombard Theo Von, and bombard Joe Rogan with the comments and the letters and the emails and the phone calls and the voicemails. These guys are our only hope. I think Joe Rogan and Theo Von are now our only hope to free and save Joe Exotic and get him back to his tigers. And speaking of tigers with Joe Exotic, we've got a new song, okay? We've got a brand new song from the Tiger King himself. I told you, it's a miracle. I don't know why he wants to leave prison. He has time to. We've got a music video. We've got a song to go along with it. We've got an official Rumble account. Joe Exotic now officially on Rumble. You can catch 3 or 4 videos on there now. He only has 2 followers, okay? Listen, we all start out as 0. Gary V starts out as 0. We start out as 0. Joe Exotic starts out as 0. So did Joe Rogan, okay? Everyone named Joe starts out as 0. And so it's fine. We're going to get this following up here probably after this episode. But we've got brand new music. You've heard it here first. And I can say that with confidence because I highly doubt the 64 people who have actually heard this song are watching this podcast. So I bring it to you as an exclusive worldwide premiere. You've heard it here first. I'm not even joking. This is Free the Tiger King by Joe Exotic Music. Take a listen.
Dusty road sweat on my brow.
Hell yeah.
Dancing wild.
Let's go.
No calm down.
Woo!
Joe Exotic, tiger roars loud. Customer's prisons don't allow. Free the Tiger King with a shout. Locked up lives, we tear it out. Justice spins a twisted route.
Hell yeah, dude.
Free the Tiger King, no doubt.
Woo! Free the Tiger King. It's the Joe Exotic soundtrack, dude. So you can catch that exclusively on Rumble.
What are we doing?
Stream all of Joe Exotic's music on Rumble. I mean, this is, his message needs to be heard, okay? So the more followers we have over on rumble.com/free Joe Exotic, we're really gonna rally, and hopefully, I think Trump's already seen the plea, he knows his name, and I think we have a quote from Donald Trump saying that he'll, quote, look into it.
What are we doing?
Once he's back in the White House. So it's only a matter of months now before we get Joe and his Tigers reunited, and then the inevitable Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Tim, all the podcasts are going to want this guy on, and then boom, we're going to get new music. We're going to get a new season from Netflix. We're going to get a book. We're going to get a deal. We're going to get a movie. We're going to get a documentary made. This man, we have not seen the last of Tiger King yet. He's still riding the wave. And I mean, he says it. He says it right here. Right in the description of this music video, the description reads, Tiger King isn't just some quirky show we all watched during COVID. It's a tale of injustice, extortion, witness intimidation, and frankly, the dangerous mix of producers paying witnesses during legal cases while federal agents turn the other way to put away someone they consider a threat. It's disgusting.
What are we doing?
I love that in still 2024, 4 years later, that Joe Exotic is claiming that the producers of the show paid off the judge and other federal agents to just put him in jail because they thought it would make for good TV. So, I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time getting Joe out. So we're bombarding all of the socials with the campaign Free the Tiger King, hashtag Free the Tiger King. Say it with me, hashtag Free the Tiger King. Local news time. Listen, I know a lot of you are going to be affected by this because there's just, we've all got, listen, it's very blatantly obvious from the Facebook post and just the overall feeling that I think all of the millennial generation is that we're just kind of, we have so much time on our hands. We have so much time on our hands, and the number one thing that us and especially our boomer parents love to do with our free time, and let's be honest, let's also just be honest with ourselves. I know I do. I'm sure you all do. Everyone, it's the holiday season. We've all got so much extra money just in the bank account, just like, what the fuck? What am I going to order on Amazon now? It's like I have everything. I literally can't think of anything else to buy on Amazon. I put $900 worth of camping equipment in the cart just the other day.
What are we doing?
And Megs goes, hey, what are you doing with $1,000 worth of tent and heaters and what are you going camping in the backyard? Are you going to your mother's backyard to go camping in the middle of December in Pennsylvania?
What are we doing?
And I said, well, no, I'll probably drive somewhere, but I thought I'd just take up a new hobby because I can't go to my local gas station. I can't go to my local tobacco shop. I can't go to my favorite establishments anymore, or at least here soon shortly, to play my Pennsylvania skills machines. Okay, listen, if you're like me, you black out. Okay, you go in for like a lighter, maybe some chips, a soda, you might need some gas, and then boom, 20, 30, 45 minutes later, you're $20, $30, $40 deep into the skills machine, the PA VLTs, video slot machines, as some would call them.
What are we doing?
Now, for those of you who don't know about the VLTs, I'm sure you've seen them. Now, maybe some of you, a very small percentage of central Pennsylvania residents, have maybe seen them but not played them. But ask any of your uncles, your cousins, your aunts, any of your parents' friends. They'll explain to you exactly what these video PA skill machines, video lottery. If you don't know, we've got an expert witness here to describe exactly what these machines are and what they do and how dangerous it is. So if you or anyone you know is seemingly quote unquote, now they're not going to admit, but if anyone you know is addicted or has a problem with these skill machines that are essentially just legal slot machines that we've got in every gas station, every tobacco shop, every head shop, every place that can possibly put one. I just saw one. Where was I? I just saw one in a Chipotle.
What are we doing?
I was in Chipotle getting lunch the other day, and there's a row of 3 PA skill slot machines just lined at the wall. And by God, there was like 2 people. There were 3 machines, and there were 2 people occupying 2 of them on like a Wednesday afternoon. This is the problem that Pennsylvania has, and this is why they're trying to make them illegal, people. This is what I'm trying to tell you. They're going to ban these things, and we're not going to have anything to do with our free time anymore. So here's the guy that we found this video. It's a perfect explanation. This is a true story. I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, I think he might have been from York-ish, the York area of central Pennsylvania. If you know, you know.
What are we doing?
Listen to this, okay? This is a crazy, I can't believe this, so much money. I mean, listen to this. Ready?
Ray's hooked on those video lotto machines, VLTs he calls them. He's down there every day pumping the dirty cocksuckers full of all his money.
Hear me out, okay? I'm going down tonight and I'm going to hit the machines. I'm going to be making the $20 and another 20. I'm going to front you guys 20, all right?
He'll pump $200 into one, play it and win $50 on his ticket, and then somehow in his brain he thinks he's ahead.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? It's... So everyone's hooked. Everyone in PA's hooked, and the government official, they're not regulated, okay? And apparently, now I don't know about the places I hang out. Hey, the places I go to play my slot machines are a little, we don't get like, there's no violence, there's no robbery, there's nothing. So I don't know who in their right mind is doing all of these crimes with the slot machines, but apparently it's wreaking havoc in central Pennsylvania.
In Bucks County, a big decision concerning so-called skill games that you see at various small businesses, including some gas stations. Well, tonight, the town council pulled the plug on some of them in an effort to make communities safer. Action News reporter Leland Pinder has more.
From last year to this year, Bensalem police say they've seen a more than 40% increase in the number of these skill games in town. And with that increase has also come an uptick in crime connected to them. With a unanimous vote Monday night, skill games are now banned in Bensalem Township, Bucks County.
Bucks County, dude.
Police said they looked into this for 2 years and say the unregulated games threaten quality of life and public safety, pointing to robberies, theft, and even drug use connected to the skill games.
We've seen a proliferation of these machines in all types of businesses, and we've also seen it welcome a criminal element.
There are exceptions.
The skill.
What are we doing?
Pennsylvania lottery machines that you put quarters and dollar bills into are the reason these places have now seen an uptick in crime. They must be stopped. We must yank every single one of these slot machines out of every establishment. Bucks County made it illegal. I hope York, Adams, Cumberland, all the counties in the surrounding areas, let's go. Make it a statewide thing. Make them go bankrupt. Get the PA skills out of here, dude.
What are we doing?
If crime is running rampant because of these slot machines, I mean, look, this is where I play. You think this place, you think the Unimart's crime has anything to do with the slot machines? Hey, look at this place. This is where we have the slot machines right down the road. Do you think the slot machines have anything to do with Easy Smoke's discount tobacco outlets crime rate?
What are we doing?
Do you think it might be the outside decor or the fact that they have other expensive items or cigarettes or a bunch of cash in the register? Has nothing to do with the skill games that literally not a single person on the planet. Find me one. Find me one single person. If you find me a single person, I'll delete the podcast I'll have them on the podcast and then I'll delete it forever. If you can find me one single person who has made more than $500, meaning they haven't lost anything less than and have been up. So they put 500 in and now they are evenly at $1,000. I will shut my mouth forever and I will go down and I will just play my slots. But I guarantee you it's going to be pretty freaking hard to find someone you know personally. I'm sure you have plenty of members in your family who play, but finding someone who's actually, I don't know, made money on the slot machines in the Easy Smokes discount tobacco outlet?
What are we doing?
Why are they here? We should not be wasting our time. We have so many other things. If you have time to sit in a Rutter's gas station and play a video slot machine with the couch and your seltzer or your beer or whatever can of alcohol you bought, because Rutter's can sell alcohol now. Some people are addicted to it. I don't know why, but it's something strange. You go, you get yourself a spiked adult slushie, and you sit and you pump 20, 40, 50 bucks into this machine, and you pull that handle until it stops fucking spinning.
What are we doing?
I don't understand. Obviously, it's an amazing and incredible way for the businesses to make extra money. But, you know, it's like, it's one of those weird societal things that just like shouldn't be a thing. I would venture to guess that if we moved into a statewide legislation, you got to get rid of them unless you're an actual casino.
What are we doing?
Then, hey man, yeah, I'm sure, whatever, fine. Crime will probably go down by 20, 30%. Just because it'll have $300 less dollars in quarters within the establishment. But it just, I would venture to guess everyone's lives would improve emotionally, mentally, physically if they didn't have their local express gas station to go to just to spend that extra 20 bucks every couple of weeks.
What are we doing?
But that's America, and that's where we're at. And speaking of America and where we're at, it's CEO season. Listen, the United Healthcare CEO murder case is probably going to be one of the most interesting things to happen this year. If we get him on trial before 2025, but I highly doubt that'll happen. But man, oh man, I mean, what's wild about this, listen to this, and this is how my family works, right? 30 hours, 36 hours, maybe like 48 hours after the, Brian Thompson incident happens, my sister's like, hey, you want to go to New York City and like go shopping and like get some pizza and shit, like spend the weekend in New York City? And I'm like, sure.
What are we doing?
It's more dangerous than ever, but yeah, let's go. So we're doing that in a weekend. You know what I mean? That's fun. So we'll be there. I'm going to go to the scene. I'm going to investigate. I think we're staying at the hotel. I think we're staying at the hotel Brian Thompson was.
What are we doing?
So we're going to be there. I'll report back and let you guys know what the vibe's kind of like now that we finally found him. We got Luigi. He's in handcuffs. We were looking for a guy named Mario, but in reality, I mean, the green jacket should have given it away. And so, you know what I mean? It's, we found him at a McDonald's. Now, what I'm trying to understand, what Paul and I was on the phone with my friend Paul talking about this for 3 hours the other day, and it just quickly became apparent that what they have told us so far doesn't really actually make any freaking sense.
What are we doing?
So you mean to tell me that this man, Luigi, I don't know his last, I can't pronounce, I'll be honest with you, I can't pronounce his last name. So, and because out of just disrespect, we're not even going to use it. We're just going to call him Luigi and pretend he's a video game character because that's how minuscule this man is. And so Luigi was what we're finding out now, a valedictorian. He was head of his high school class. He was a grade A student. He graduated with honors, and he also was a college kid. And what college kids do best is they smash beers on their heads. So he was a smart man. He was a smart man. Who in college just was, a wild boy. And that's what we know. Everyone from your mother to your sister wants to sexually assault this man, including Andrew Schultz.
What are we doing?
And so, just look at him. He's got no shirt on with a six-pack and muscles like a bodybuilder in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Why wouldn't you want to hop all over this boy? You know what I mean? So here's the issue. He went through this meticulous thing, this planning, this whole from start to finish. He would 3D print and manufacture a ghost gun. He would wait outside of the hotel that the man was staying at. He was originally going to use a bomb, but didn't want to hurt innocent people, bystanders. And so then he got a silencer made for his 3D printing ghost gun. And so, he planned and he waited, and then he found his target. He took the shot. He made it happen. He escaped into the night. And then 24 hours later, the cops find what we presumably think is his jacket and his book bag with all the evidence in it. And boop, it's just full of Monopoly money.
What are we doing?
And so we're thinking now, whoa, this guy's like a Batman villain, vigilante, Joker kind of guy. NYPD finds his backpack. They think they got their man. They're going to their sergeant like, dude, we got something. When in reality, it's just a backpack full of Monopoly money. And so fast forward then to not more than 24 to 48 hours later, we start getting news, rumors, and rumblings that they have found Luigi in, of course, another Allentown, Pennsylvania McDonald's.
What are we doing?
Pretty close to the same McDonald's Donald Trump did his thing at. I don't know what it is about the central PA area that all of these crimes are kind of happening at. I don't think anyone's put two and two together. But when you kind of think about it, hey man, what's going on?
What are we doing?
Why is it here? Why is it happening all here? That's besides the point, okay? Conspiracy theory time. So he's sitting at a McDonald's, and what we initially hear from reports is one of the McDonald's employees turned him in. Either they recognized him from the viral photos that the cops released, that he was at Starbucks, and then him with and without the mask on, or there's conflicting reports that he was found via one of his fake IDs. Apparently, the McDonald's employee was smart enough to know what a fake ID looks like and then hand it back to him and then call the police and be like, hey, I found the guy.
What are we doing?
Now, everyone's number one question and concern is, why would a McDonald's employee have the ID of a customer? You don't give them your ID ever, really, at McDonald's. There's no reason to, especially in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
What are we doing?
And so what we need to understand is things don't add up. Because once then the cops came to said McDonald's, he was just sitting there on his laptop, checking his email or doing some random playing Fortnite on his laptop. Now the cops are there. He's in handcuffs. They extradite him to New York City. They've got their killer. Job well done, FBI and NYPD. I mean, case closed, slam dunk. The backpack, Luigi's backpack, they found the ghost gun. They found the silencer. They found his manifesto, handwritten about what he was going to do, the notes about the bomb, where he was going to be, the whole breakdown note from A to Z plan, okay? They found his fake IDs. They found like $8,000 worth of American money, $2,000 of foreign, some fake passports. They found everything this guy would have needed to hunt down and unalive a United Healthcare CEO in this McDonald man's backpack. And so, as I'm sure everyone's kind of like, okay, right, that's it. We've got the evidence we need and case closed. But what everyone's kind of really thinking about here is, why would such a smart, valedictorian, college, Ivy League, school-bound, meticulous planning, he built the gun himself, engineer, very smart, presumably very smart, very attractive, very privileged white man who seemingly has access to travel, everything else, that all of these things that we now know about this Luigi kid would directly have us all assume that he would not be caught sitting at a McDonald's watching a YouTube video while he's eating his Big Mac and fries in the exact outfit with a book bag full of all the evidence the police would need to lock him away at McDonald's.
What are we doing?
You telling me you ditched a backpack full of Monopoly money in New York City, but from New York to Pennsylvania, presumably of hours of a drive, a distance from there, or a bike ride, whatever, however he got to from New York to PA, a thought didn't cross your mind. Maybe, every 20 minutes on this drive or this ride to Pennsylvania, I'll put this in the dumpster, I'll tear up the manifesto, I'll break up the 3D printed gun, it's just plastic, break it up!
What are we doing?
Ditch the book bag, use, $20 worth of the $8,000 you had in your pocket to go to Walmart, buy a new outfit, and just go anywhere other than a Pennsylvania McDonald's. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm at McDonald's almost every other day of the week. I understand how addicting the food. Listen, as American, we got inflation. We don't really have a lot of money. We all go to McDonald's a lot. I know so many people. We all say, I'm not ever going to eat McDonald's again. And then you're there again, shoving a double cheeseburger down your throat.
What are we doing?
It's delicious. We can't help it. And it's built that way. It's supposed to be addicting. And that's why we all go there every other day. And because for a $4 cheeseburger, you can't go to the grocery store and just pay $4 for a cheeseburger. You got to get $8 worth of meat, $12 worth of other supplies, and $20 worth of a grocery bill while you're still there. And then you should just go to McDonald's because it's easier. And I understand. And you're in America, you're going from New York to Pennsylvania. One of like the only restaurants along the way is going to be a McDonald's. So you might as well pop off, get something quick, but not too quick to wait around for PA State Police response time, which is usually like what? Probably 30 minutes at minimum, but probably an hour. You know what I mean? Hey, man, how he got caught doesn't make sense. Here it is. He turned himself in.
What are we doing?
You think a valedictorian, Ivy League graduate, goes through all of the precision of all of that and then just so happens to be walking around days later with all the incriminating evidence on him inside of a McDonald's, dude? Absolutely not. The guy's 14 steps ahead of us all. He's been 14 steps ahead of everybody. Okay? You know what he did? Do you know what he did? Okay? Like, what kind of wealth gap? Let's think about that for a minute. The CEO, Brian Thompson of United Healthcare, makes millions and millions and millions and millions and millions times $10 a year. Okay, he's on trial. He's being indicted for a $1,500 million pump and dump stock scheme with him and a bunch of other CEOs. So he's not the cleanest, not the nicest overall person to begin with. Okay, and so when it comes to someone like him and someone like, I don't know, an employee at McDonald's who might stand to get a $60,000 reward for turning someone in.
What are we doing?
$60,000 will change a McDonald's worker's life probably for the better. They're going to quit that stupid job and probably never look back, okay? So the wealth gap between the McDonald's employee and the CEO, for example, like, I think he took all of the incriminating evidence that he had on him, went up to the employee, told him who he was, said, hey, it's me. My name's Luigi. I shot Brian Thompson in New York, the guy you see all over TikTok, all over the news. It's me. Call it in. Tell them you flagged my ID as fake. Come up with a story. I don't know. Hey, come up with whatever you think would make sense.
What are we doing?
And then the McDonald's employee, who's not very smart, part of the reason why they're working at McDonald's and not a CEO of a healthcare company, the best that they could do on the phone was like, I think his ID's fake, and I think I'm pretty sure he's the shooter, his ID's fake. And then boom, 30, 45 minutes later, the police and the FBI are in, turn him in, and so now the employee collects the cash reward. He did it on purpose.
What are we doing?
No guy's that smart. No valedictorian, Ivy League graduate is that smart and then gets that sloppy within the amount of 24 to 48 hours. Okay. It was on purpose. And that's what, like, now I don't know. I don't think the YouTube videos are real. I think that might be someone else. I don't know if the YouTube channel is a real thing. A lot of people were talking about this, the scheduled videos premiering on YouTube with the cryptic messages from Luigi. Whether you believe in that or not, I don't know. But it's all, I think, one big, we're going to see. His lawyer has come out and said that, like, yo, bro, I don't have any evidence here saying that he is the killer, so I'm not quite sure why he was arrested to begin with. Sure, having a ghost gun, kind of illegal.
What are we doing?
Having that much cash in a book bag, a little questionable, okay? But there's really no evidence linking the gun to the crime, him to the CEO. They're just guessing that he looks like the guy who does. So we're going to see if his lawyer, every interview he's doing with the news and the media outlets and the courthouse, everything, his bottom line is that his client, Mr. Luigi, there's no evidence. There's no evidence saying that he is the killer. There's no evidence saying that the gun that was in the book bag at the McDonald's was the one who shot Brian Thompson. There's no evidence, like he would, hey, the fact that Luigi might have been in New York at the same time, that's coincidental. This lawyer, I'm curious how long we'll play the no evidence game. So it's all still up in the air. They're pleading not guilty. I mean, it's been a wild ride, and now all the other CEOs are on alert. There's like wanted posters all over New York City for other organizations, CEOs. All the other healthcare providers have taken their CEOs' faces and names and contact information off their websites. Like, I think the number one private security company in the country has got an influx of upwards of 40% calls from CEOs needing personal bodyguards and 24/7 security.
What are we doing?
Because now that this presumable Luigi character has taught us all that, you know, hey, listen, as bad as this sounds, you know what I mean? We don't have to, like, if you need to get something off your chest and you're going to do something bad and stupid, like, if we're being honest, hey, don't shoot up a school or like a concert full of country music fans. There's you know, I hate to say it, but there's other places or things or people you could maybe consider just like Luigi did.
What are we doing?
I'm not giving justice to anything that this man did. He's a criminal. He should be locked up forever, life sentence, etc. But when it comes down to it, that's the thinking that some people, especially those that aren't really stable in this area, if you know what I mean, some people are now considering, oh, it's CEO time. Let's find out who the CEO is of the healthcare company that denied my grandma insurance. Let's find out who the CEO is of the company that, you know, manufactured the vehicle who hit my mom and caused her to be paralyzed for the rest of her life. Let's start figuring out who the CEOs of these companies are. And if, you know, it's a dangerous game. It's dangerous, and I don't know if I like it. And Luigi's playing one. And so we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't know if this may or may not be the perfect crime. He may come out. If he gets proven and found not guilty, I guarantee you 20 minutes later, he's on a podcast admitting he killed Brian Thompson.
What are we doing?
Can't charge him twice. Not in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, it's over. We're giving her flowers. It's time. The Taylor Swift Eras Tour is officially wrapped. She ended the show. She ended the concert series. She ended this phenomenon that we are all aware of just last week with her final show in Vancouver, Canada, with just a blowout performance. Okay, and I mean, the numbers of the Eras Tour are just something that you can't even really have anything bad to say about. 2 years in time, she went to 5 different continents, 50 cities, 149 performances, and my God, what a time to be alive. I mean, at one point, we called the Eras Tour, whenever she came to a city near you, the Taylor Swift effect, because the economy then went through the roof. People were coming in, people were getting hotel rooms, going to restaurants, tipping, buying things, concerts, outfits, alcohol, supplies, hotels, food, gas, everything you need within the city that Taylor Swift was in. And now we've got an uptick of, 50 to 100% to 100+% worth of sales at all of these different types of establishments, all thanks to the Eras Tour.
What are we doing?
Taylor Swift found love. I mean, she started out with one and ended with another, okay? If we all remember, when she started the Eras Tour, she was with a man named Joe. We're talking about a lot of Joes on this episode, and in this segment, we're not talking about Rogan or Exotic. We're talking about Joe Alwyn, Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriend, okay? Now, a lot of us, we didn't really like Joe, okay? We don't think he was the best one for her, but in the grand scheme of things, if we're looking at apples versus oranges compared to the 2024 start and end of the Eras Tour in the grand scheme of things, I think it's safe to say that me and the rest of the Swifties can all agree that when it comes to Taylor, we like her and approve way more of Mr. Travis Kelce than silly ex-boyfriend Joe.
What are we doing?
So we end the tour with Travis Kelce. Of course, he was there all throughout whenever he could. The infamous Tokyo show to the Super Bowl. We knew she'd make it. And hey, looking at the numbers, it looks like if they can pull it off again this week, the Chiefs might be headed to the Super Bowl again next year.
What are we doing?
And so with the Eras Tour now indefinitely over, we'll probably, if they do, we'll get another Taylor Swift appearance at the Super Bowl, which we need, because I think we all need to be distracted by Kendrick, that whole thing. Who knows what's going to go down? We're going to be tuning in. I don't know, but what I do know is I'd really love if Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar, if she is there, if the Chiefs go, they need to do the song that they did together, because then Drake would feel 1,000,000% validated.
What are we doing?
And that's the only reason, and because we would just love to see it. So there's multiple layers to the whole thing, but let's cross our fingers and pray that Taylor Swift inevitably ends up at the Super Bowl again this year. And of course, come February, we'll let you know. So the Eras Tour generated over $1 billion worth of revenue. 11 albums were in the tour, friendship bracelets. She took down Ticketmaster, dude, with this tour, a record-setting concert film. And with all of that high, there's no stopping her and no telling what's happening next. Listen, with the inevitable, not inevitable, it just happened. We got official word. Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez being engaged and set to be married, I'm sure sometime soon. Taylor Swift has confirmed she'll be the flower girl at Selena's wedding. And so we're then going to assume that Taylor Swift, the flower girl at Selena Gomez's wedding, will then inevitably catch the bouquet, or Travis Kelce. I figured it out, dude. I figured it out. This is exactly what's going to happen. Write it down. Tell your friends. You heard it here first. It's another exclusive for this week's episode. We're just dropping them left and right. Selena Gomez gets married to Benny Blanco. Taylor Swift is clearly going to be the flower girl, maid of honor, give a speech, do something at the wedding because her and Selena Gomez are best friends. And then when it comes time for the inevitable flower toss, Selena's going to toss the flowers. And then Taylor's going to be up in front getting ready to catch her because she's 8 feet tall.
What are we doing?
So she could easily get this thing. But then as soon as Selena throws the flowers, Travis Kelce comes in and intercepts the flowers like it's the winning Super Bowl touchdown pass from Mahomes and dives into the deep end for a touchdown. And then as he comes up, he pulls out a ring and says, "Marry me, Juliet. You'll never have to be alone."
What are we doing?
I love you, and that's all I really know. I talk to your dad. You pick out a white dress. It's a love story. Travis, just say yeah.
What are we doing?
And then everyone starts singing the song. She says yes. And now Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged at Selena Gomez's wedding. You heard it here first. Mark my words. That will be the reality we all live through in probably the very, very near future. So wedding bells. And let's be honest. Let's just say we definitely know 100% of the fact that Eras Tour Part 2 is 100% coming soon, okay? And if Eras Tour Part 2 doesn't come soon for Taylor Swift, I think Eras Tour 2.0 definitely needs to come not only to the United States, make it worldwide because it would be a thing. I'm talking Miley Cyrus.
What are we doing?
It's time, sweetheart. It's time. Get the wig out of the closet, dust off the old guitar. We're ready. America's ready. Canada, Mexico, the rest of the world, add the same country. Wherever T-Swizzle went, do the same thing. Whatever 18-wheeler rig she got, do the same thing. The $197 million in bonuses she gave out to all those truck drivers and dancers and everyone it takes, all the freaking manpower to put on a tour like the Eras Tour just like that. Yeah, $200 million in bonuses, let alone salaries.
What are we doing?
Do the same thing. Figure out how she did it. Download the course. Pay $29.99. Download the PDF and figure out how she did it. And I'm telling you, we are all ready. The millennials are ready. The boomers are ready. The Gen Zers are ready. Every single generation is ready to sell out the Miley Cyrus Eras Tour. Hear me out, babe. You start with Hannah Montana. Let's go. Give us 5. Give us 10 of the bangers, okay? Best of both worlds. all of the songs, okay? Give us every single Hannah Montana song for an hour. Then you go into Teenage Miley. Give us the Flicka. Give us the movies. Give us the mountains. You know what I mean? Ain't no mountain high. I don't know, something like that. It's the climb, right? Give us that era. That's another 30 minutes. Let's then move on. Strip off the clothes. Get the lingerie out just like Taylor. Now we're in the bangers area, babe. Bring in the drugs and alcohol.
What are we doing?
Bring out Mike Will Made It. Bring out the Wrecking Ball. Do your thing, boo. That's another 30 to 45 minutes, okay? Bring out the next era. You're a grown adult now. We're talking Call Her Daddy interview. I got dildos and pictures of them on my coffee table. That's how much I love sex and smoking weed. Let's go.
What are we doing?
That's another 30 minutes. Then clean it up. Then bring it back. Give us the divorce. Give us the flowers, okay? Give us the country. Give us the Jolene. Give us the hits that we've been listening to for the last few years, okay? Then hit us with the last 30 to 45 minutes of any new music that she'll inevitably put out in preparation for the tour. Everything else, she'll drop an album right before she goes. She'll do the same thing Post Malone is doing. Get a headliner gig at Coachella, then kick off your Eras tour with a brand new album, and you've got yourself a 4-hour show that will sell out in every single one of the 150 stops you go to. Do it. Do it now. Do it now. And hey, I don't need any percentage. I just want free tickets to one of the shows. I want free VIP passes for me and some of my friends to go see one of the Miley Cyrus Air Tour shows. I'm down. I'm going 100%. If we've already determined that even though it's gonna be twice as much as last time and just as chaotic, we didn't get to go obviously this time because of the freaking chaos, but who knows? I'm gonna do my best next time to get Megs and I tickets to the Eras Tour Part 2 with Taylor Swift. And by God, if she takes my advice and Miley Cyrus launches her own Eras Tour, I mean, let's make it happen, babe. All I need is tickets to one show as a thank you. You're welcome. Hey, Miley, are you going to do it? Yes or yes? You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, okay, we've got yet another, now that we have all of the official results in, now that we know what's going to happen come January, Donald Trump is officially been voted in as the 47th president of the United States, in case you've been living under a rock for the last 4 weeks.
What are we doing?
Now, of course, he's been busy. Okay, we've been busy winning the election, trying to win the election. So as it got closer to that November date a few weeks ago, he didn't have time. We didn't have time to film or edit or really promote or put out any new products to the product line, okay? We didn't get official win sneakers. We didn't really get anything or any type of new product from Trump that says like, hey, I won. You know what I mean? Not a blanket, not a t-shirt, not a pair of sneakers, not a Bible, not a book, not a coffee table, nothing of the sorts until now. Now we're back, okay? And we're still on the fight brand, okay? We're still using that. That's his slogan. That's not going away. It's not going away. You're going to hear the words fight for the next 5 years. Until they get this man back out of the White House, fight is going to be his slogan until the day he dies.
What are we doing?
So what better way to celebrate this year for Christmas? Listen, you and your spouse, you and your fiance, you and your significant other are having the same conversation we all have every year, okay? It's all a big tiptoe. It's all a big tiptoe around the big question. Hey, what are we getting each other for Christmas this year? And initially the answer is nothing. We love each other. We can just do it. Your money is my money. Let's just do it. Right? We're not going to get each other anything. And then as it gets closer and closer to the date, one of you caves and comes home one day and says, hey, I don't, don't ever get me anything, but I just got you one little, I saw it and I had to get it for you. It's one little thing.
What are we doing?
And so then naturally you have to then go out and get them one little thing. And then they know that you had to go get them one more little thing. So then they got you another little thing because now we're just exchanging gifts and it's okay again. And so we're all in that weird phase right now trying to figure out if we're going to get our significant others Christmas gifts this year. And then once we figure that out, of course, naturally what to get them is usually the next mystery and challenge of the whole thing. Because as much as we know and have memorized the script to these people, you can tell me anything about your significant other, I'm sure, their favorite color, what they like, their hobbies, their favorite shows and movies. But what do you get them? What do you get them for Christmas? What do they need? You're not going to get them a MacBook Pro or a new iPhone. So what do you get? They don't need a Funko Pop. They've got 19 of those already. They don't need whatever camera lens or accessory or gift for a photographer list that you think is going to be unique. They've already got it.
What are we doing?
So what to get your significant other this year for the holidays is just one less mystery now, thanks to President Donald Trump. I'll let him take it from here, okay?
My new Trump fragrances are here. They make a great Christmas present. I've named them Fight, because they represent winning. We all want to be winning. We have to win as a nation.
Right.
We want to win as a family. This
Listen.
fragrance is all about strength and success and confidence for men and for women. Get yourself a bottle and don't forget to grab one for your loved ones too. They'll thank you and they'll even smell good. Enjoy, have fun, keep on winning, and Merry Christmas.
Get TrumpFragrances.com.
What are we doing?
Listen, I know for a fact that you all, much like myself, are kind of not really looking forward to the family social interaction of Christmas time, okay? I get it. I fully understand. We're all kind of really in this weird antisocial bubble, like, don't get me anything. I'm 30 years old. I don't need a new pair of slippers.
What are we doing?
And so, like, yeah, great. Like, for 10 minutes, we're excited. For 10 minutes, we're excited. We get to see grandma, your sister, your brother, your mom, your parents, your dad. It's going to be great. Awesome. We're here. It's so good to see you. It's such a high for about 10 minutes, and then you're ready to go the fuck home.
What are we doing?
And so, Donald Trump, he'll never go away. And so, basically, and we all know, we all have one. We all have an Uncle John, okay? We all have an Uncle John in our family. Everyone's got an Uncle John in your family. As soon as you go up to Uncle John, you give him a hug at Christmas time, you can smell the 6-pack of beer he's already consumed before breakfast.
What are we doing?
Okay, but we can't. It's Christmas. It's holiday season. We're celebrating. I'm half drunk too. We can't blame Uncle John for the unrecognized alcohol. It's fine. So with the inevitable smell of your Uncle John then reeking and leaking onto you, because you naturally, have a person, you shower, you smell good before you leave the house. It's something that most human beings are aware of, their own smell, you know what I mean? Uncle John is not. So what perfect gift, what better gift to get him this year than a Donald Trump fragrance, okay? It's the next best thing. It's what we all want. It's what we all want. It's what we all want. It's what we all need. And it's what your Uncle John's going to need in order to smell good this holiday season, okay?
What are we doing?
We've got two versions. We've got the men's cologne and the women's perfume, okay? The standard bottle is $1.99, okay? Well, but all the bottles are $1.99. You can either get the perfume or the cologne for Uncle John or Aunt Sally, and you can knock them out. They both smell great. Now you can hug them, and when you go to hug them, when you leave inevitably the Christmas vacation party, they'll smell good.
What are we doing?
And it'll be one less thing you have to talk to your therapist about after the holiday season. If you go to hug your Uncle John and your Aunt Kathy this holiday season, what would you rather have when you leave? Do you want the memory of them smelling like their musty old couch and like stale, dirty beer? Or your Uncle John and Aunt Sally could smell like the Victory 47 or the Fight, Fight, Fight cologne and perfume from Donald Trump. Now, I would choose the latter, and I think, honestly, you should be thanking me for giving you such a great idea, because I know for a fact that you're going to go to these people's houses and you're gonna hug them and you're gonna smell. You're not even gonna want to touch them. That's how gross and dirty your relatives are. And it's just it would be so much better if you could just spritz them. Hey, why don't you get out of the box? Just smell it, for just to see what it smells like. Spray yourself a few times with it. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
I mean, honestly, instead of the Fight, Fight, Fight one, I kind of want Victory 47. I want a bottle of the Victory 47 cologne. Where's Megs? Megs, I want a bottle of the Victory 47 cologne. This is what I want for Christmas. I want a candle, and I want this cologne because the packaging on this is immaculate. I can only imagine this is 100% real, 14 karat, 24, at least 14 to 24 karat gold Donald Trump statue on my cologne bottle. And I hope to God, let me look on the website. Does it say? It doesn't say, but I'm praying to the gods that when I receive my Donald Trump statue cologne bottle, I can push down on his little head and the cologne squirts out his mouth. I want Donald Trump to spit cologne on me every day.
What are we doing?
I want it. I need it. And I swear to God, if I get it and his little head doesn't squirt cologne out of his mouth, I'm going to the White House day one and I'm rioting, because on day two, he's pardoning all the rioters. So that list should include me. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
Listen, folks, if you're in New Jersey or on the East Coast, I need you to get inside. I need you to stay inside. I need you to take cover, and I need you to be careful, okay? There are aliens. I'm sorry. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to use the term UFO. I'm not going to use the term drone, because much like Megs, it'll confuse you, much like it confused her when I tried to tell her that drones were flying around New Jersey. And she's like, what do you mean? Everyone, 6 people who have a drone. Like, what do you mean? Everyone's just flying their drones in New Jersey? And I'm like, no, it's a goddamn alien invasion, okay?
What are we doing?
The aliens are here. They're here, they're coming up out of the water, and they're flying around New Jersey. We all know, we watched it, okay? We watched the Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz episode of the podcast years ago, back when we all used to listen to Joe Rogan, back before he went woke and then went Republican and just started having nut jobs on. Like, literally, did we all forget what happened in 2024? Did we all watch the Joe Rogan Trump interview and it melted all of our brains to the point where we forgot that just like a month before that, he had on Terrence Howard? Terrence Howard, the actor, the HBO stars, ABC drama Terrence Howard, Transformers Terrence Howard, Iron Man, Marvel, Terrence Howard.
What are we doing?
Talking about how gravity doesn't exist, our math system's wrong, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. And as soon as Terrence Howard gets done spewing all this bullshit, all of this nonsense, all of this fake, easily disputable, not scientific stuff at all, Joe Rogan goes, yeah, he's a really smart man. He's got a lot to say, man. And I believe him, man. I think a lot of what he's saying is true, man. And it's like, hey, where did we take a right turn here? But a few years back, it was still all Bigfoot and aliens. And I think that's how Joe Rogan captured a lot of us. So listen, I mean, this is it. And this is it. So this was what? This was 5 years ago, before COVID. And that's where I draw my line. I'm pretty sure COVID effed up about 90% of the people who are who actually survived and lived through the pandemic. The rest of us are just, it's a conversation for another day, but Joe Rogan was certainly a victim of the pandemic in the sense that he's still here. And so this was before that. So this was when we actually liked Joe Rogan.
What are we doing? Shows and shit. He fucking believes.
What people don't know is that Hudson County, New Jersey.
Here you go.
Northern New Jersey is the #1 place in the country where they have the most UFO sightings.
Really? Northern New Jersey.
Look it up, Jamie, if you get a minute, please, not to be rude.
But isn't that like near a couple airports?
No, it's closer to like, you know, like when you live in New York City and you look at the Hudson River, they say that people go on their balcony, they're drinking coffee, they're talking on the phone, and they'll see a little flying saucer go by.
Really?
And I know for a fact that in 1976...
A little one?
Whatever the fuck they are. I know for a fact that in 1975 and 1976, you could check me out on this. A UFO landed in Hudson County Park. I was a kid, and the next day the feds locked off the park. They had yellow tape. They had samples. Go look it up, dog. There's a UFO. You see that's called, North Bergen is where I'm from. That's called, I forget what it's called, but it was so.
Want to see a UFO, try building. North Bergen.
So they did so much coke in there in the 80s, they called it the grinder. That's what they called it because it was shaped like the Stonehenge. The Stonehenge.
This was
what are we doing?
This was 5 years ago. This was 5 years ago. Joey Diaz is already fully aware of the alien invasion in New Jersey, and now it hasn't stopped. And so now, since the last week in November, these last couple weeks, a lot of people haven't heard about it. The aliens are here, okay? We've got the New Jersey mayor, the New Jersey government claiming that Iran has a mothership that these drones are launching from and that there is an Iranian warship off the east coast of the United States of America and that we should all be worried.
What are we doing?
So meanwhile, while the officials and the higher ups and the people in charge of your life there in the state of New Jersey, while they're on local and national news and public, radio stations and social media shouting that there is an Iranian warship off the coast of the United States, right off the coast of New Jersey, and they are launching drones into the United States. We don't know why, but stay inside and stay safe, New Jersey, to the point where the White House has now come out and said, hey.
What are we doing?
There's no ship. There's no mothership off the coast of New Jersey. It's not Iran. And so we were all like, okay, thank God. The feds, let alone at the state, we know how things are at the state level, but at least if we don't know what's going on at the state level, much like this guy in New Jersey doesn't know what's actually going on, the feds most likely know and they'll set us straight. So lady comes on the teleprompter, says, hey, I know the guy in New Jersey was like, don't worry about it. It's just an Iranian warship off the coast. That ship doesn't exist. It's not a thing. It's not Iran. And all of us were like, thank God, we finally have some answers. The next sentence out of her mouth was, yeah, but even though it's not an Iranian warship, we still don't know what the fuck is going on.
What are we doing?
The feds in New Jersey, the state prosecutors, the higher-ups, the governors, the mayors, New Jersey, they're meeting with government officials. They have zero answers. The federal government knows nothing. The state knows nothing. The people know nothing. We know nothing. So whether these are just 30 college kids with DJI drones in New Jersey, or it's actually aliens emerging from the water, getting ready to get the fuck off of this planet, because we're most likely about 3 months away from blowing each other, all of us up with nuclear bombs. So why be around when that happens? So all of the alien community that lives under the ocean off the coast of New Jersey is up and out of here. And the only way they can do that quickly is without, the cloaking, and we got to have the lights on because it's dark. But, we need the high beams on. And so Americans now with our iPhone 16s finally have some decent footage of these things. And they're not the shape of airplanes. They're not the shape of regular like DJI drones. It's very interesting what's happening. Here's the latest.
Where are the drones spotted over New Jersey coming from? And are they a threat? National correspondent Matt Gelka has more on how members of Congress and local officials want to see more from the FAD.
There's a lack of answers about what's lighting up the skies over New Jersey. Drone sightings have been reported every night around the state since November 18th. This is just one map from Monmouth County depicting the areas of reported sightings. New Jersey's governor said Wednesday night it's his most important issue.
You're frustrated, so are we. But based on everything, and we're going to stay at it, I promise you this is our top priority.
The White House said
that guy, by the way, go back 5 seconds. That guy, this guy, who is he? Governor. Oh, the governor of New Jersey. He looks like he was abducted by aliens.
What are we doing?
Like, this guy, the governor of New Jersey, looks like he already knows. The aliens have already talked to him. They said, hey, just keep stringing them along while we get the fuck out of here, and we won't suck out your brain and everyone you know and loves brains and eat them for breakfast. So he was like, yeah, sure, I'll tell him whatever. So the Governor Phil Murphy he's already on it. He's talked to the aliens, and they come in peace.
The White House said based on analysis so far, many of the sightings appear to be manned aircraft and not in restricted airspace.
In this early stage of the investigation, there's just no national security threat that we see and no public safety risks.
The unexplained sightings have become a national security issue to some lawmakers, with the objects spotted buzzing around some critical infrastructure and even near President-elect Donald Trump's golf course in Bedminster.
A commanding officer from the Coast Guard who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water, followed right behind them.
New Jersey Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew said this week the drones were coming from a mothership off the coast of the U.S. launched by Iran.
That's him. There he
the
is.
Pentagon responded.
There is not any truth to that.
Yes.
There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
But without knowing the source of the flights, the question lingers over whether they're a threat or not. One possible solution, shoot one down.
They should be shot down. But we have a problem, an underlying problem here with sort of detection.
There was a briefing Wednesday night with Homeland Security and local officials in New Jersey that left many of the attendees frustrated and still without answers. According to State Assemblywoman Dawn Fantasia's notes from the meeting, the objects being spotted are up to 6 feet in diameter and are able to avoid traditional detection methods.
Okay, so basically, what are we thinking here? I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. The issue, the bottom line is, I think it's absolutely and utterly insane that. Now, do we believe that the state officials actually don't know anything, like the governor, mayor, and all the people in New Jersey? Yes, I strongly believe that the man who is the governor of New Jersey is completely in the dark and knows nothing about what is going on and what these drones are. But does someone within the federal government know what these drone spaceship UFOs are? 100%. And there's probably a laundry list of reasons why us as American people don't need to know about it. Now, if you want to know exactly what these drones, aliens, UFOs, whatever you think these are in New Jersey, you can do one of two things. You can either A, listen to the experts, okay, when it comes to the type of science. We'll get to an expert testimony in a minute. Or B, you can wait about, give it 5 more days, and either your parents or your aunt or your uncle, anyone within your immediate family that you talk to regularly within the boomer generation, will most likely see a Facebook post from someone they do not know personally that has a completely made up story about what these drones / aliens / UFOs are. They'll wholeheartedly believe it to be true, and then they'll tell you exactly what is going on.
What are we doing?
Now, if we want to, just kind of fast forward to the science behind it all, there's only one person we go to when it comes to space and aliens and underwater and everything else that's involved with this alien New Jersey story, the alien invasion of 2024.
Today, lawmakers got a private security
Calm
brief.
down, sweetheart. God, she's sexy, but I need you to just wait one more second to let me get to the bit. The man we need to talk to is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Jesus Christ.
What are we doing?
Listen, this CNN host, it's the reason I picked this clip. She's sneaky hot, dude. She is sneaky hot. She's got this kind of like, just listen to her talk for about 30 seconds. I'm telling you, like...
Briefing on this ongoing mystery of the unexplained drones that we have seen flying in the skies over New Jersey.
I mean, come on, bro.
What are we doing?
She's a 10 out of 10 bombshell, but the issue with a girl like this is, I'm telling you right now, she will destroy your life. She 100% wears the pants in the family, and if you say anything wrong around her, she's going to yell at you, she's going to be very mean to you, and it's probably going to turn you on to the fullest. And that's one out of many reasons you are with such a beautiful woman like this anchor. She's, boy, oh boy, she will destroy everything that you've built, but at the same time, she will cuddle you right back to health and be exactly who you need her to be in the relationship. That's the type of girl she is. That's the type of girl this anchor is. She's sneaky sexy, and all of that shit that I probably just said is most likely true. Let's talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What are we doing?
My source today is the famed astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, who has a new book, Merlin's Tour of the Universe, that is in stores now. It is great to have you. I mean, hearing those lawmakers there, I thought one of them raised a good point. If you don't know what it is, how can you tell us what it's not? I mean, what is your take on what we've been seeing pop up over New Jersey?
First, I agree with the sentiment that if people cannot identify what they are, you're in no position to say whether they are or are not a threat. So,
right.
I don't get what it means when they say, oh, don't worry about it. We don't know what it is, but don't worry about it. But I can tell you this, if I can't claim to know the motives of aliens, but just being an earthling, but of all the places to show up on Earth, they pick New Jersey? That's right. It'd be odd for me to wonder what the aliens are looking for.
Shout out to Neil deGrasse Tyson for talking shit on New Jersey.
What are we doing?
Hilarious. Hilarious. Hey, man. If aliens were going to invade the United States, what makes you think, for any reason at all, they'd choose New Jersey?
What are we doing?
Shout out to Neil, yo.
No offense to New Jersey. I'm just saying, there's the whole Earth they could have visited. So, yeah, it's a mystery. And by the way, drones are more available to people than ever before.
That's right.
So maybe this is just the new normal. And Jersey's getting the first taste of it. But I'm a little disappointed that given that we have a nearly $1 trillion budget for the Pentagon, that nobody knows what these things are.
The second bomb!
What are we doing?
The second bomb from our man NDT, Neil deGrasse Tyson. We've got $1 trillion military defense budget, but the federal government doesn't spend any of that money to figure out or know or have the hoo-ha or technology to tell us what these flying objects are? United States government? Huh? Why is someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson calling you out on that, dude? Oh.
Now I'm worried about national security.
One, I gotta say for the people from New Jersey who are watching that, I'm gonna get some complaints from Phil Murphy and others about that comment saying New Jersey is a great place for Martians to visit.
Great place except for the taxes. Okay, apparently.
Another zinger.
I would
Another
send them to
zinger.
Alabama, but our football team's not doing so well this year. But honestly, on this, and your point there about the Pentagon is a good one, because we heard from John Kirby today. He used to be at the Pentagon, and he said it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. But there is such a heightened sense of public concern that what we are hearing, and this has been going on for days now, it's not making anyone feel any better about it.
Yeah, well, maybe there's a sensitivity or an awareness factor for lights in the sky, especially after a year and a half of congressional testimony of people declaring that we're being visited. So if this gets people to look up, I'll take it, right, as an astrophysicist.
Or maybe we could all be fearing for our lives because, like, the people of Israel and Gaza and the Ukraine and Russia, every time they look up in the sky and see a flashing light, it's a fucking bomb.
What are we doing?
Ready to, demolish their entire house and their family within it. And so, maybe we're all just a little concerned that the headlines we're seeing every other day about Donald Trump stopping World War III. World War III started. World War III's here. How are we going to stop World War III? World War III is inevitable. We all have nukes. It's nuclear war. It's World War III. And when you see videos, much like the ones that they're posting in New Jersey of these flashing lights in the sky from said countries, and then you realize, oh, that flashing light, boom, then turns into a bomb explosion, a missile explosion, an Iron Dome defense paraglider crashing into trees, suicide bomb, the whole 9 yards. Maybe the people of New Jersey are just a little scared that World War III started. Do we ever think of that?
What are we doing?
Listen, I'm going to chalk, thanks to Neil deGrasse Tyson, I have more information now, and I'm chalking up the alien invasion in New Jersey to Elon Musk, 30 of his billionaire friends, Jeff Bezos probably with them, the boys, and they're all in their little $6 million personal aircrafts that none of us can afford or even know about yet.
What are we doing?
And they're like, hey, where do we go? We're in New York City. Where should we go? And then they're like, let's just fly. Let's go to New Jersey, and then we'll go back. And like what we're all seeing in New Jersey, what Joey Diaz saw when he was a kid, what we saw last night, what we saw last week, what all these people in New Jersey are filming on their iPhones, it's just Elon Musk and his billionaire friends flying around in the little prop planes they got because they're billionaires and they have nothing else to do.
What are we doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Levi McCurdy. This has been episode 169 of the What Are We Doing podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Like the video, follow, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know the gist of it thus far. We'll see you next week for episode 170. I hope you enjoyed it. My glasses are clean. I'll see you in the comments section. Shout out to you guys for running up the numbers last week. I love you. I'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
What are we doing?